Did HUD successfully enforce the Fair Housing Act? Have you ever wondered how effective the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development is in enforcing the Fair Housing Act? This act is designed to prevent discrimination in housing based on various factors, including race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, or disability. Understanding this can help both renters and landlords navigate the rental property landscape. The Fair Housing Act was established to ensure everyone has equal access to housing. The United States Department of Housing and Urban Development is tasked with investigating complaints and taking action against violations. However, the effectiveness of this enforcement is a topic of discussion. In recent years, the number of complaints filed under the Fair Housing Act has surged, reaching record highs. For instance, in 2023, over 34,000 complaints were filed, the highest number since the mid-1990s. Despite this increase, the role of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development in handling these complaints has been relatively limited. In 2008, private organizations filed more than 20,000 complaints, while the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development only managed just over 2,000. This trend continued, with the Department of Justice handling even fewer cases, showing a decline over the years. When we look at the outcomes of cases filed with the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, many do not lead to findings of discrimination. For example, in 2017, out of thousands of cases, only a few hundred resulted in a legal finding of discrimination. Many cases were settled, dismissed, or withdrawn. The most common complaints often relate to disability discrimination, particularly regarding reasonable accommodations in rental properties. For landlords and property managers, this means it is essential to understand their obligations under the Fair Housing Act. They must ensure non-discriminatory practices during tenant screening, leasing, and property management. While the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development does take enforcement actions, the bulk of the responsibility falls on private organizations and local agencies. In summary, while the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development has made efforts to enforce the Fair Housing Act, its reach is limited compared to the volume of complaints. Many cases do not result in formal findings or penalties. Rental property owners should be aware of their legal responsibilities to avoid complaints and potential legal action. Understanding the Fair Housing Act is vital for creating a fair rental environment.